John May, General Manager of Petrale Roofing, up on another customer's roof doing a free 21-point inspection. If you'd like us to take a look at your roof, give us a call today, 719-375-8773. We'd be happy to take a look and see the condition of your roof. Petrale Roofing, we're a Diamond certified TAMCO installer, which means we can offer a industry-leading 25-year workmanship warranty to give you peace of mind in the storm. Call Petrale Roofing, 719-375-8773. Schedule your free inspection today.
Good afternoon. I'm meteorologist Rachael with Peaks to Plains, and we have a little bit of information to tell you about this afternoon that I wanted to pop on live and give you an update, something that we really haven't had a lot of for several weeks now, but we are tracking heavy enough rain in the high country where flash flooding is actually proving to be a concern. We have been talking about this potential all week, and the potential is being realized. So let's jump right into exactly what we're seeing out there right now. And you'll notice that the storms that we get out there today, the storms that we are tracking out there right now, are well to the west of I-25. So unfortunately, we aren't going to get any of this rain across the plains. But I tell you what, even though we are dealing with some of these flash flooding concerns, getting some of this rain in an area that so badly needs it is a welcome sight. But it does come with a bit of a caveat, and that, of course, is going to be the potential for flooding. So I want to jump right into where we have the flash flood warnings. We'll zoom in for you. And the flash flood warnings currently have been issued for Chaffee County, and we have had rainfall rates of between a half inch to 1 inch. So these storms, while they're not looking as impressive right now as they were just a little bit ago, they have been producing some pretty significant rain. So let's zoom out right now and I'll break down these warnings for you. And that's the area of rain that we are continuing to keep an eye on. We'll talk about this northernmost warning first. That flash flood warning will continue until 4 o'clock. Again, what you're looking at is Chaffee County right now. So included in this northernmost flash flood warning is Cottonwood Pass, a pass that many folks are very familiar with. And this warning doesn't mean necessarily that flash flooding is happening, but it does mean that it is either occurring or it's imminent. Now, I don't have any videos or reports of flash flood warning conditions as of right now, but we had rainfall rates again of about a half to 1 inch in an hour. So that is going to be sort of what we're going to look out for this afternoon, especially over some of these mountain pass areas where we could end up seeing from that heavy rainfall rate the potential for flash flooding of small creeks, streams, urban areas, highways and streets, underpasses, anywhere where there's poor drainage or low-lying areas. So again, we have this more northern flash flood warning. Looks like the heaviest rain, though, is starting to drift off toward the south. So let me rewind this and have this radar loop start going from the past hour. And you can kind of see how intense the rain was here when these warnings were issued. So we do have 2 flash flood warnings, both for Chaffee County. Again, this more northern warning will continue until 4 o'clock. And then I do have another warning that does include St. Elmo as well as Alpine, also in Chaffee County for the same reason. We had storms that were producing anywhere between half inch and 1 inch rainfall rates per hour. That's very heavy rain, especially for areas that have not had a lot of rain in recent weeks. Sometimes the ground is not as receptive to absorbing water when it has become so dry. So that is something that we will be dealing with here, not only today, but as we start to see moisture increasing in the high country, a trend that we will be watching as we head into the weekend and especially into next week. I will talk about that in just a second, but want to finish up kind of showing you where this rain is right now. And you'll notice that it does look like those storms are losing just a little bit of their intensity right now in comparison to how much rain they were bringing when these warnings were issued. But that southernmost warning, I should say, that does include St. Elmo and Alpine. That continues until 3:15, so about another hour and 40 minutes. So with this rainfall rate, sometimes what we see is the actual flash flooding conditions will trail a significant period of time or lag a significant period of time behind the actual rain itself. So it can take a little while for those flash floods to kind of develop and move into areas where they will become harmful, dangerous. And obviously, if you see any areas of ponding or running water, you want to get out of those areas. Do not drive through. Flash floods, turn around, don't drown is what the National Weather Service always teaches with these storms. So again, 2 flash flood warnings that have been issued for Chaffee County right now. We'll take a look elsewhere. It's going to be over the mountains where we are expecting to see the bulk of the activity, and we are tracking quite a bit of rain as expected for the southwestern mountains. So let's zoom in to where we're seeing some of those brighter colors, the yellows, oranges, reds, indicating some of those higher rainfall rates. And you'll notice Durango kind of in a pocket of drier conditions right now, but you can see just off toward the north and east a nice cell that has developed. Severe weather, not necessarily something that we're overly concerned about today. It's going to be the potential for heavy rain rather than damaging winds or hail, especially in the mountains. Could see a few areas of small hail embedded in these storms, of course, but it is really going to be the high rainfall rates that will keep our attention. So near Durango, we have a cluster of thunderstorms that will continue impacting the region. And we do have some storms also up across some of our more north central mountains near Breckenridge. Just off to the east, south of Georgetown, we have some storms popping up. If you are tuning in from Woodland Park, we are also tracking a cell that you're probably seeing popping up just to the north of Cripple Creek, south of Highway 24. So that storm we'll have to keep an eye on in the event that it too gets a little bit more strength as it very slowly meanders off to the south. You'll kind of notice a trend with these storms. They're not moving overly quickly. So that is something that will also contribute to the potential for flash flooding conditions as these storms kind of just sit and pour rain over the same area. Again, wonderful to see the moisture, but one of the byproducts of that moisture in dry areas is the potential for flash flooding. We will have to really closely monitor if we get any of these storms to push over area burn scars, namely the Willow Fire, the Aspen Acres Fire. Those are going to be 2 areas that will be very susceptible to flash flooding conditions. And the reason why is because what happens when fires burn so hot is they actually help to melt some of the waxy materials, some of the resin that's in the trees and things of that nature, and that creates a crust over the ground. So think of it as pouring water onto concrete. It just runs right off rather than absorbing, which is what we would like to see happening and what would happen in a normal situation. So burn scars are always more susceptible to flash floods right after those fires move through because of that hydrophobic, we call it, the hydrophobic ground that develops. We've got a nice cell, again, no severe thunderstorm warnings to tell you about, but just to the east of Fairplay, a nice storm producing there as well, some decent amount of rain. And as I mentioned, kind of up near Breckenridge, Keystone, Loveland, popping right up over the mountains, we have a nice storm there as well. Great to see the rain, something that we haven't really had a lot of here over the last several weeks, really, in the mountains. But this is going to be a trend that we are going to be watching more and more of here over the next couple of days. And one of the reasons why is we're getting a decent moisture return. And this is thanks to an area of high pressure that has situated itself across the Midwest and the upper Midwest. Now, while we do have some significant dew points kind of out across the plains, you'll notice that in the high country, this is an area where for the past several days we've been tracking dew points, which is a measure of the amount of moisture in the atmosphere, in the teens and 20s. And now we're starting to get flow around that area of high pressure along the western side coming in from the south and east. And that is bringing some moisture into the mountain locations, and that's bumping our dew points up into the 30s and 40s, which is just an indicator that we have some significant moisture in the high country to work with. So you can see that here on your upper level pattern and your jet stream. Our high pressure is starting to meander a little farther toward the west, which is going to bring that counterclockwise flow, or clockwise flow. So it's going to kind of keep easterly winds streaming into the plains, which will keep the plains dry, but flow around this high is going to bring some of that tropical moisture into the mountains. And you'll notice the bulk of that is going to be across the southwestern mountains, where I do anticipate we'll see some of the heaviest rain throughout the day today, and Skycast is reflecting that as well. So you'll notice that through about 4:30, we'll still have quite a few storms across our local mountains. Teller County, you could get into some of that stormy activity as well. We will have to monitor those storms as they very slowly drift across the region. If we do get a storm that pops up again over any of the burn scars, those will be of great concern, as they will likely produce flash flooding concerns. So we have 2 warnings as of right now. I honestly would not be surprised if I pop on again in a little bit with a few more. The largest storms, or the most numerous storm activity, should really be across the southwestern mountains where we're kind of getting most of that moisture streaming in. Could have a few storms to contend with through the first part of the night over the San Luis Valley. Those areas will see the storms lasting the longest. And then by about 1:30 in the morning, everything comes to an end. So just to sort of reiterate what we're expecting here as we move through the next day or so, is moving it to today, you're going to continue to see a bullseye of the best probability of precipitation over the southwestern corner of the state, the southwestern mountains. And that's going to be something that we will watch into tomorrow also. You'll notice the bulk of the activity, once again, kind of bullseyeing for areas west of I-25. The southwestern mountains get the majority of the moisture streaming into the region right now. So the probability of precipitation is echoing that, what we're seeing in real time, continuing through the end of the work week and even into Friday. Now, things begin to change a little bit into next week. We'll see the high pressure, or the area of high pressure rather, kind of break down and reassemble in just a way that we're going to see the recirculation of some of this moisture. It'll redistribute some of the moisture that we have over the high country right now, and we'll continue to see over the high country over the next couple of days, hopefully a little bit farther toward the east. So if you are tuning in from areas along I-25 and out across the plains, and you're wondering when we are going to see some of that beneficial moisture, there is certainly a chance for maybe a stray storm here as we head into the end of the weekend, but it's looking like a much better chance into next week. We're really going to bring back the chance for storms that could produce some heavy rain, sort of a more typical monsoonal flow. So before I let you go, I just want to once again talk about the reason that I popped on here live in the first place, and that is because we are continuing to see thunderstorms blossoming over the high country, thanks to some tropical moisture that is moving into the region, thanks to the high pressure that is over the central high plains right now. Here are the storms. You'll notice not much activity along and east of I-25. That will be the trend today. We have dry air moving over the east for the plains, so that is going to kind of put a lid on the environment. Even though we have a lot of low-level moisture still, that lid that we see from that warm air moving in overhead, that's going to kind of prevent a lot of storms from being able to bubble up. So that is something that we are watching over the plains. Let me put this up so that you can see it. And you will see the storms again along and west of I-25 is where we have the most moisture. And the storms that we are really keeping an eye on as of right now that have prompted the National Weather Service to issue flash flood warnings that will remain in effect here for the next couple of hours, actually, seeing as how flash flooding conditions can sometimes lag behind the actual rain itself. So we do have, let's see if that's going to populate it for me. It won't, but that southern warning that does include Alpine and St. Elmo. That warning is expected to stay in effect until 3:15. So this area where you have the dot on your screen, this is in Chaffee County. So this is because we had storms that were producing anywhere from a ½ inch to 1 inch rainfall rates. And you'll notice that the rain has somewhat lessened in intensity, but that doesn't mean that we are in the clear as far as that flash flood concern is. So in this area, if you see any water streaming across roadways, just wait. You want to turn around, don't drown. Flash flooding is something that is very serious and very dangerous, and something that, unfortunately, because of our terrain here and also the amount of wildfires that we have had here in Colorado, is something that we have to talk about a lot. The northernmost flash flood warning that we have in effect right now, also in Chaffee County, and that it does include Cottonwood Pass, a pass that many folks are very well aware of. And this is because, again, of ½ inch to 1 inch in 1 hour rainfall rates associated with storms that we had not too long ago. I'll rewind the radar just a little bit and you'll see those storms. Let's see. There you go. And you'll kind of see those areas of yellow and orange. It doesn't take much rain to prompt these flash flood warnings. So you'll probably see more concern or hear me talking about yet this afternoon continued flash flooding concerns, especially if we start seeing any storms that are moving over area burn scars, such as the Aspen Acres fire, and also the willow fire is going to be of great concern today. So I don't have any direct reports of flash flooding conditions happening right now, but because of those rainfall rates, obviously that is a big concern. So we will be monitoring those conditions closely. As I get updates, I will absolutely pass those along to you, and we will keep you ahead of all of these storms right here on Peaks to Plains. So stick with us through the afternoon. I do expect more storms in the high country to last well into the afternoon and evening. I will have all of those updates on the app, on social media, on YouTube, all of our platforms. And if you don't have it yet, make sure that you are downloading the Peaks to Plains app. It will help to prepare you for these conditions and let you know if there are any threats in your specific area. So make sure your locations are turned on, and we will update you as needed, because this is our weather together.
I'm Catherine.
And I'm Dewey, here with another water-wise tip.
During summer, do you know why we water up to 3 days a week?
To make the best use of me.
Exactly. It builds deeper, stronger roots and makes your lawn more resilient.
Also, use the cycle and soak method. Try shorter cycles with breaks in between to reduce runoff.
And in spring or fall, you can water 1 or 2 days per week. Be water-wise and your lawn will thrive.
Now that's water-wise. Learn more at csu.org/waterwise.